running races and performing theater and energetic days to perpetual weakness, inhibited movement, and chronic fatigue that put me in bed at 8:30 p.m. I moved to New York to pursue my dream of being a professional actor, and soon I moved back home again, exhausted and in pain. I knew something wasn't right, but no doctor could give me an answer. Every new visit left me with the question mark of defeat, as the easy answer would be repeated. You're fine. You're young. Go home. Yet the problems worsened as the years passed. After a long day of typing at work, my arms and hands would ring with aching pain, to the point that I couldn't perform simple tasks like opening jars, doing laundry, even holding a pencil. My knees and feet raged with a similar pain, and my ability to exercise, even take short walks, vanished completely. The fatigue felt like waves of heaviness, like crawling through a dense fog that would keep me from focus and any sense of normality. There were days when I wondered if my health was completely slipping away. After 6 long years, my husband Brad and I saw a Lyme-literate doctor because my symptoms matched those of Lyme disease. The day the nurse called with confirmation was bittersweet. So good to have an answer. So scary to realize the road ahead of us. But, by God's grace, and after 2 years of treatment, we have every reason to believe the Lyme is gone. I stay up later than Brad some nights. Even still, as we sometimes say to people, the war is won, but the city is ravaged. My body has been left weak, and has years of rebuilding to do. Some days are long and hard and strewn with discomfort. My struggle with pain looks different now, but it's still an everyday fight. Discouragement stemming from dashed dreams, the frailty of a broken body, and the fight to persevere in hope.
Sarah's story. Without going into detail, during my 4 years of high school, I experienced bullying along with a form of abuse from peers. At the same time, circumstances that were out of my control brought some devastating redirection in my life, the most difficult being the end of my athletic dreams. It all sent me into a downward spiral, leading to an eating disorder, a broken relationship with my parents, and depression that resulted in my being admitted to the hospital. It was there that I gave up my attempt to live both for Christ and for the world, and committed myself to following Christ. Life seemed to become smoother for a time. I met my husband at 20, and to my great surprise, I was married and a mother by 23. That was a decade or so ago, and the last 10 years have been greatly marked by loss. From a young age, our eldest son began displaying behavior that was defiant and destructive, and has caused a decade of confusion and chaos in our home. Countless doctors, tests, and evaluations seemed to leave doctors shaking their heads, and all we were left with in the end was an increased financial burden and growing fears. Everything was affected by his illness. Along with that, my own health grew worse, and with each of the 4 children I bore, I found myself increasingly unable to function through my chronic pain and illness, along with an ankle injury that left me unable to do much of what I used to love. As my son's disorder continued to intensify, confusion and hurt began to grow in our other children, and our marriage began to suffer under the weight of it all. When we were at our lowest point, convinced that we couldn't endure anything else, my husband lost half of his income, and we were forced to sell our dream home and downsize to a smaller rental home as medical expenses continued to pile up. Our family was in crisis. We were broken and wondering where God was and what He was doing. I found myself battling despair, hopelessness, and deep questions of faith that I had never had to face before. In 2015, we were referred to a group of doctors who